¿Qué trajo? ¿Qué trajo?
This isn't rare, this isn't just a phase, and these are not bad kids. This is what happens when adults are afraid to parent. And by the end of this video, you'll clearly understand what your child's brain can and cannot handle at each age. So stop guessing and stop blaming yourself. Gentle parenting is often presented as the healthiest way to raise emotionally stable children. But in practice, this is often not the case. But what if the problem isn't gentle parenting itself, but how it's being applied to brains that simply aren't ready for it yet? So here is the uncomfortable question. Are we raising emotionally healthy children or children who were never taught limits? And is everything we now call gentle parenting actually gentle? Or is some of it just avoidance dressed as care? I'm a pediatrician, a researcher, and a mom. I see children every single day. I believe in empathy. I believe in emotional safety. But I also see what happens when boundaries disappear. Parents today are overwhelmed. You are told not to yell, not to punish, not to upset your child. At the same time, tantrums are getting stronger, longer, and harder to manage. So the real question is not should we be gentle with kids, but what does a child's brain actually understand at different ages? You've probably seen many breakdowns of gentle parenting from psychologists. Today, I want to look at it from the unusual angle, as a physician, through brain development and what the nervous system can realistically handle at each age. Support the channel, like, subscribe, turn the bell on, and let's go. Most modern parents, myself included, were raised by authoritarian parents. Share in the comments if I'm right. And we know exactly how that felt. We grew up experiencing the downsides of rigid control, fear-based discipline, and emotional distance. So it's not surprising that our generation swung hard in the opposite direction. That's how gentle parenting became popular, but often in a very simplified, surface-level form. And here is the truth. Any extreme is a problem. You can even see that in things like the monochrome trend. I actually talked about this in one of my previous videos. But parenting works the same way. Many parents confuse being gentle with being passive. They try so hard not to traumatize their child that they forget one essential thing. The child still needs guidance. Discipline is not abuse. And it may sound uncomfortable, but the absence of discipline can be. So today, I want to offer you a different lens. Let's look at how the parent's role changed over time through the physiology of the developing brain, when which role is physiologically safe for your child, and why. Even if your child is 1 or 3, I strongly recommend it watch until the end, because understanding the direction matters more than the exact number. These transitions are gradual. And when you see the full picture, your parenting choices suddenly make a lot more sense. So let's begin our journey through the years. From birth to round 2, you are safety. At this stage, parents, especially mom, are comfort. Your child's brain is not capable of fully understand words yet. They feel you primarily through touch, tone, and presence. And this is when trust and emotional security are built. Watch out for constant distraction. Being emotionally unavailable now quietly weakens their first sense of safety. And this is the stage where gentle parenting in its classical sense truly matters. But as we move closer to age 3, things must begin to change, gradually but clearly. From 3 to 5, you are the whole universe. This is the mom look phase. You're seen as capable of everything. Fixing, creating, comforting, protecting. They are absorbing how care looks, how stress is handled, how we treat ourselves. Watch out for dismissing fears or reacting sharply often. Our reactions slowly become their inner voice. Important correction. This does not mean you must hide your anger or sadness. Children learn how stress looks, how repair looks, how emotions are handled. And that is normal. And here is critical moment most parents missed and almost no one talks about. At this age, Children still read us primarily on emotional and intuitive level. Yes, their brain is now capable of understanding explanations, but only simple ones. Explaining complex emotional logic during an active tantrum does not work. The meltdown has already happened. Nervous system is already overwhelmed. In that state, a 3-5-year-old brain cannot process complex reasoning. So what they actually need? They don't need to analyze why they feel bad. They need to calm down. Self-regulation mechanisms are not developed yet, but clear, firm rules work very well. For example, you cannot get what you want through a tantrum. If you scream, you definitely won't get it. This is where boundaries are formed. Not ignoring, not aggression, just a calm, firm no. And after calm returns, then you talk. You will be surprised. By the third or fourth tantrum, it often stops. A child adapts to the new framework. This is one of the strongest contributions you can make to a child's physiological resilience. Children don't need a friend at age 3. They need a regulated adult. Trying to be liked can cost authority. And authority is what makes children feel safe. You can be warm without being permissive. From 6 to 9, you become a blueprint. They watch closely how you speak when frustrated, how you recover after mistakes. They learn resilience, problem solving, empathy. Watch out for labels and constant correction. Never hide your emotions. Children always sense what you feel, and they notice when emotions are suppressed. And here is the part nobody tells parents. Suppressing your emotions doesn't make your child safer. It makes them confused. If suppression becomes the rule, they may carry it into adulthood. That is a direct path to serious psychological problems. Gentle parenting does not mean you never get angry. You're a human. Your child needs to see emotions, not a parent who suppresses everything and quietly burns out. Repair matters more than perfection, and gentle never means spineless, never means unlimited. From 10 to 12, you become an emotional home base. Their world expands, but emotionally, they still return to you. They notice whether you truly listen or rush them through feelings. Watch out for minimizing emotions. Show your child how you feel. Let them see sadness, angry, joy. Nothing terrible happens if you cry sometimes or raise your voice. What matters is what comes after. Explain what happened. Show how to calm down, how to find meaning or hope. At this stage, children are not frightened by strong emotions. They learn from them. When feelings are welcomed, kids learn to understand them. From 13 to 16, you become a quiet reference point. Even when they pull away, they're still watching. Conflict, boundaries, repair. Watch out for constant criticism or emotional shutdown. Connection still matters, even when it's not requested. And this is especially the age where clear boundaries are critical. If you don't teach your child where the line is, the world will. And the world is far less gentle. And the boundaries around aggression and disrespect towards parents are also critical. By respecting yourself and holding these boundaries, you teach your child to respect themselves and to recognize and filter others' emotions. This is how the adolescent brain is wired. From 17 to 20, independence grows. But influence doesn't disappear. They reflect on whether support felt empowering or controlling. Watch out for hovering. Guidance works better than pressure. This is where you slowly soften your authoritarian control and allow more independence. You begin to let them enter to the larger world. Only between 20 and 25 does true friendship become possible. And only if major mistakes were avoided earlier. If the earlier stages were handled well, you can now meet as equals. The brain is finally ready for it. So watch out for unspoken care. So what actually works at every stage of growing up is balance. Empathy with structure, warmth with limits, connection with consequences. You don't need to punish more. You need to stop being afraid of being firm. A child who never hears no doesn't grow into a free adult. They grow into an anxious one. Gentle parenting isn't the problem. Fear-based parenting is. If you want, I can make a practical guide. How to calm a child during a meltdown in under 1 minute. A method I've personally used. Tell me in the comments if that would help you. Kids by Science, where proven wellness for kids meets real life.